You are not a burden. Your energy is not a burden. Your emotions are not a burden. You are allowed to show up just as you are. You deserve to be seen and heard. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to have a voice. You are loved. Hello, and welcome back to Self Recentered. I'm your host, Anya Nova, and right now, you are in a safe and supportive space, and so am I. This podcast is about putting yourself first, decentering all of the things you've been orbiting around other people, expectations, survival mode, and learning to come back home to yourself. It's where we align, refine, and reclaim the most divine version of who we are. Before we dive in, let's take a mindful moment together. If it's safe, wrap your arms around yourself in a hug. If you can't, maybe you're driving or maybe your body just won't allow it right now. Just imagine a warm white light surrounding you, creating an oasis from the world. If you are hugging yourself, try rocking gently from side to side, like you're cradling something precious, because you are. You can also try humming softly in a low tone and feel the vibration rise from within. Something like, Notice how that white light starts to expand, turning golden. Not only is that light protecting you, it's also radiating from you because you are the source of light. And remember that no matter how dark it gets, you can always step back into the light. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. Now that we have recentered ourselves, let's begin. I want to talk about something that has completely shifted my life. The decision to just show up. I know you're probably thinking, what do you mean just show up? Don't I show up every day? I don't know. Do you? I won't go through my whole life story at the moment because then this episode would never end. But here's the long version, slightly less long. Back in 2015, I went through one of the darkest times of my life. I lost myself in grief, pain, and isolation. For years, I carried that heaviness while trying to heal. And even though slowly I started to look okay on the outside, inside, I was still hurting, still keeping people at arm's length. I moved around a lot. I left people on red. I changed my number a bunch of times. I ghosted people that I loved, sometimes for weeks, sometimes for months, sometimes for years. One day, I went for a walk and I realized, despite having hundreds of contacts in my phone, I could not think of a single person to call in that moment just to talk. And for the first time in a long time, I admitted to myself how lonely I really felt. At first, I felt abandoned. But then I shifted from victim to warrior, and I asked myself, what part did I play in creating this isolation? And the truth is, I played most, if not all of it. I hadn't been showing up, not for my friends, not for my family, not even for myself. In the last episode, we talked about what it means to ghost yourself and how important it is to show up for yourself. And once you begin showing up for yourself, it becomes easier showing up for others because everything is a reflection of our inner world. So once I was in a more healed and aligned and grounded state, I set one intention, not some fancy New Year's resolution, but just one intention. Just show up. Not perfectly, not always joyfully, not always particularly well, but consistently. Just show up. Like I said, the first step was learning to show up for myself. I started to ask myself, do I actually want to be here? Is this person, place, or thing aligned with the person that I want to be? What do I need right now in this moment? Am I being authentic or am I putting on a mask? In addition to these questions, I also stopped saying yes to things that I knew I would end up flaking on. I stopped forcing myself to perform for people who didn't feel safe. And slowly, the people who did belong in my life revealed themselves. The ones who truly wanted and cared for the real me, not some watered down version. Yes, I lost some people in that process, but the ones who stayed, they made everything more than worth it. Let's do a little exercise together. Picture your closest friend, the one who makes you laugh till your cheeks hurt, the one whose presence feels like sunlight. And if you don't have anyone in mind, think about an ideal person like this that you are going to manifest into your life. Now imagine one day this person shows up crying in a dark place, not exactly themselves. Would you tell them that they are being a burden? Would you tell them to please go away until they can fake a smile again? I hope not. I hope that you would hold them or listen or remind them that they are loved. So, why don't you treat yourself the same way? Why do we tell ourselves that we're a burden for taking up space or having emotions, for being human, when we would never say that to the people that we love? Everything starts from within. So, first, show up for yourself. And then, the more you do so, the more you build trust, and the easier it will be to show up for others. Now, just to clarify, there is a big difference between intentional solitude and sulking, between healing and hiding, between taking space and pushing people away. I've been guilty of all those things. And when I disappeared, I learned the hard way. I wasn't entitled to a warm embrace when I finally decided to come back. Love is not transactional, but it does require reciprocity. Here's an analogy I came up with. Imagine your closest loved ones own a popular restaurant. There's always a wait list, but because you're family, they keep a VIP table reserved just for you. Every time you show up, they make space and the table is yours. Now, imagine you start flaking. You don't show up when you say you will. You ghost them for months. Eventually, that table gets given to someone else. And then when you finally walk in, you might get seated near the bathroom in that awkward table in the corner. Or you might be told to wait. Eventually, there may be no space at all for you in the restaurant. That table represents the space we hold in people's hearts. If we consistently don't show up, we communicate through our actions that their care isn't valued. And one day, that table may no longer exist. The point is, showing up matters, not just for them, but for you. Because when you ghost yourself, you eventually ghost everyone else too. One of the most healing moments for me was when my friend Kim gave me a gift that said, "You are never alone." At the time, I felt like I was the worst friend in the whole world. I wasn't showing up. I was drowning in my grief. But she reminded me that love holds space even when we forget how to. So, if you take just one thing from this episode, let it be this: you are not a burden. You are never truly alone. And your presence, even the messy, real, imperfect version, is a gift. Before we end the episode, I invite you to do one thing today for yourself, by yourself, without screens, without distractions. Just one thing that brings you joy or peace. Take 20 minutes. Ask yourself, what do I need right now? This is how you build the muscle of showing up. Show up for yourself first. And from that place, you'll have the energy, love, and capacity to show up for others. Thank you so much for showing up and for listening. I will see you in the next one. If this episode resonated with you, please feel free to share or email me with any questions or feedback. If you're interested in diving a little bit deeper, you can email me to apply for one-on-one coaching, where we focus on real practical ways to just show up, recenter, and come back home to yourself. I love you. Thank you so much for listening.